Hello people, how are we doing? I hope we are well. Get them likes up and let's talk about basically the evening and the week we've had. How are we all doing? How's it all sounding, by the way? Please let me know in the comment section below. I don't have all my fancy buttons when I'm down here. Down here, very, very simply, it's running very simply and it's easy. But hey, I hope we're all good. I hope we're all having a decent evening. I have got the stuff that I have got my little boy to bed, bath on, which is brilliant. But apologies if I start this stream a little bit not negative. What's the one appliance in your house you don't want to break near Christmas? What's the one appliance you don't want to break near Christmas? 7.5, 10, had a good week, nice one. It's been good up until the last hour, half hour. Cheers, D, mate, I much appreciate that. Nat got it in one. So my oven hasn't broke, but I had something basically trip on my electrics, and I don't know if you can see that. They're meant to be where that time bit is. The clock bit have fallen to the back and the buttons have fallen to the back. And I can't reset the time on the oven to make sure I can turn the oven on. So I'm going to have to figure out if I can get my repair guy to come out and fix it, or I'm going to have to be finding a different way to do a turkey this year. Maybe find a barbecue. But apart from that, everything good. It's just my look at the minute. It's been dishwasher last month. Now that it's just one thing after another. But it's the last bit of appliance that came with the house that we've been saying once it goes we'll replace it. It's just not the time of year for us to have that go wrong with a birthday next Friday, a birthday next Sunday, and then Christmas. It's just not. God just hate me. But we'll get it all sorted one way or another, even if I can find a way of tiding me over. Exactly. But we got good. I saw it as good news today. I think the news from Chris with Bill was good news. Eden Chickens, how we doing, mate? Hope you well. I thought it was good news today. It never rained, but it poured just like our club. Yeah. Yeah, very much so, mate. It's that one of those kind of things at the minute. The only lovely thing I did, my missus got me this today. So she got the purple one, I got this one. It's bloody warm as well. I've got the air fryer. It's if I can fit a turkey in it, mate. If I can fit a turkey in it, that's the issue. I only use my oven as much as it can sound daft. We only use our oven when we do a big roast or when we do pizza. That's it. That's all we use the oven for. And it's like, I'd like to say, I'll just get rid of the oven, but you always need an oven for something. So it is what it is. But what do you think of the statement from Chris today? Because I thought it was decent. I thought it was what we needed. A little bit of clarity and a little bit, for me, just to calm some nerves from some people. I think it just needed nerve calming a little bit. I think we just needed people to get the idea of what's going on. But this is the thing that I've got is we have had it for such a long time that we're so not used to get anything. I said today, Jay, want to text an athlete day, I'll be happy. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. Like the bit that got me, the last two paragraphs in the entire thing was what got me. Good evening, Jake. Good evening. In Daniel, how you doing, mate? The bit that got me was, this is why we remain committed to communication openly, pushing for fairness and protecting the long-term interest of Sheffield Wednesday at every stage. We will continue to update you as soon as information can be shared clearly and accurate. And in the meantime, thank you all for your patience and support and understanding. That was the bit that got me, where it's like, we're being treated like fans. We're not being treated as someone's cow or someone's wanting them, just want off the money. You look at how much we've been fleeced over the last 10 years in terms of prices. It's ridiculous. And I think you got the thing with it. We're just waiting to hear that, oh, it's been done. Or it's this. And you've got to remember, it having a pushback in delay, it will delay potentially announcement when it comes to it, because you've got to get it through EFL ratification. You've got to get it through, they've got to like go through their books to see if there's any skeletons in their books. Because you've got to remember, it's not just the bidders going through our books. You've then got the administration who are going to go through their accounts and what they got. Is there anything there that they could see that could be an issue? Shut up. Which could cause an issue for us going forward. And that's the thing for me, is everybody was very excited about having this timeline. Like, generally, having this timeline going, oh, great, we're going to get it done on this date. The problem is those dates only work if you don't have things happen. Like, because by the sounds, it sounds like there's a couple of American peoples in here in the actual bidding process. They are at that weird point where they had a holiday in between this. They had a big holiday in between this called Thanksgiving. So they will have had no work done for the last, 4 or 5 days? They will have shut down for the holidays. So it makes sense. But the thing is, I'm ready for planning for this year. I'm ready for planning. And if we can start planning for next year in terms of the window. And like, say if we got, right, some players in January. You treat January to the start of next season as a mini pre-season for those players who have made the coming in free agents. You started the pre-season, but you started for prep for next year. And I know someone said, like, oh, don't count us out just yet, because it's still mathematically safe if we could get there. We could, we generally could get there, but at the same time, would have to be one hell of a push. We would have to win most of our games from here till the end of the season, where we haven't won at home this season. And I really hope that changes. I don't want to go the entire season without winning one game at home. And I think fans are... I also say that fans are like getting restless and they're getting the attendances are poor. But you also look at it, attendances near this time of the year is always poor. Everyone's always thinking about Christmas. They're always thinking about what games they can go to. You're going to get a lot of people who are going to start prioritising certain games to go see family. It's the time of year where you'll get, say a Saturday where there's a game. Let's call it, let's just pick a random date out of the air. Let's say the 20th. 20th, we play it Switch. There's going to be a lot of people who may not be able to go to that game because they're going to go see family members because they're going to go see Christmas, get the Christmas stuff out of the way. You are in that position where you have to see what's what. And then you look at the press conference with Henrik. Henrik looked absolutely shattered. Like, I'm not going to lie, Henrik looked absolutely cream crackered. And some of the stuff he kind of was saying, it was kind of like, did anyone get the feeling that he kind of knows that he'd gone in the summer and once the new owner comes in? Did anyone get that feeling he just looked a bit defeated? The most defeated we've seen him. He needs a break. Oh, God, yeah, he does need a break. I think most people connected with the club do. And I like Henrik and I hope he stays on. But I think maybe you keep him on as a coach, not a manager. But at the same time, Henrik deserves a shot under the new ownership just for being the one that didn't bail. Like, that's the thing. A lot of people bailed for whatever reason. We got our second away win this season, this Saturday, though, And yeah, he knows the new owners will get their own man in. It did feel that way, didn't it? It did feel that way. And the thing is, not to make the Blackburn game. Yeah, I agree. I'm in that kind of thing. He deserves it, but I don't think he will. But I've also got that whole thing. You look at Blackburn. Blackburn's home record is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So you could nick it. And you got to remember, we're going into this now with a Charlie McNeil on a bit of form. A Charlie McNeil that'll have the bit between his teeth. I think you start pretty much the same squad team you did on last Saturday. I went blank then. I think you start the same thing you did last Saturday. You just see what happens. And you go from there and see how it goes. Now, the following Monday, we could be up shit creek without a paddle. Because if we lose Jan and Sean, that 2-3 team is going. So I wonder if there's going to be a case of... I just wonder if there's a case of maybe start bringing some people in. Charlie double again. We have fuck all to lose. No pressure, just go out and play. Yep. Anyone seen the article stating John had joined force? I did see that. It was interesting. But now gone together. Yeah, I did see that. That's interesting. I've heard things like that in the past as well, where people were going to, instead of going against each other, join together, which I don't mind. It's how good can these people join forces? Who are they? What are they? If the new owners are sensible, they'll see Henrik is just a man to rebuild us in League One, or am I being very naive? I think it's a bit of both, mate. I get the idea of keeping McNeil there for the stability and keeping him there to give him a chance. But it all depends what kind of people come in. If they come in with football people, it might be they may have someone involved. Oh yeah, we 100% were relegated. 4 ball were kicked. I said at the start of the season, I'm not expecting anything but a League One tour next year. And McNeil and Bile the best midfielder in the league in bad, so Blackburn will be a very winnable game as they are shite at home. It is very winnable, but let's see. I hope we can do something because I really want to see us. Oh, excuse me. I really want to see us have that push. But the thing is, I want to see a Wednesday next season with a structure in place behind the scenes where we can see what's going on. I personally want to see a director of football. That's just me. Because I think if you have a director of football and they work hand in hand, that works quite well. But the thing is, here's the thing. You're not late, mate. I'm early. I'm very, very early. I got my little boy to bed early. It was a case of me wanting to come forward come live a little bit earlier because I haven't got my missus at home, so I'm going to have a little bit of a nice evening and just chill out a little bit. So I'll just come a little bit earlier than I normally would be. Mate, that's me. Hope you're well, John. Hope everyone's good. But I like to see a director of football. I'd like to see the idea of a plan of what happened. Hi, Jake. I know positive stuff is upcoming, I reckon. Likely League One, but we can build. Yeah, I think it's easier, and it's probably easier and better to build in League One than it is to try and rebuild in the Championship. I'm not saying it's not doable in the Championship, but it's a lot easier to do it in League One. So it's one of those catch-22s where I'd like to see us rebuilding League One and go for a low-end Championship team players, then try and build a Championship team where you're battling everyone for the players and you're having to try and see if you can get the right people. I'm actually glad that we are going to League One, as it will see Baz out. The league will suit him. I'd say he will hang off with boots like that. Maybe. Maybe. He's 36 now? He probably League One. Half with bad because I still think there's probably another 2 years left in him, give or take, because he hasn't really slowed down. Let's be honest. Down to League One, rebuild the training ground would be a good shout. Yep, it would be. Well, I was looking at something today, and it was something that got my attention, right? Because I was looking at our ground from above, so from the aerial point of view. So, hang on. So, you look at Hillsborough from above, and it's something I was looking at today. So, you look here, because I can't come on the other side. Look here. You see all those houses at the back here? You could quite easily take all them out if you paid for it, kind of thing. Because if you took all those houses out and just went that way, you might be able to do something similar to what they've done at Ewood Park. So let's just go to Ewood Park a minute. No, I did so much research on this today. Where's the aerial view? I love to do it a different way, but I can't do it on this bloody thing set up yet. Where is it? Right, here we go. Because if you look at Ewood Park, back in the day, though, that front section, see this bit here? That had a load of houses there. There were loads of houses there, right? And they bought out those houses. You see where the car park is here? There was a load of houses and commercial buildings there and there. And they just bought all that out. And then rebuilt that. Now, I don't know how realistically it is to do, but that's something I would potentially do. Is it easy to move out the population? That's the problem. It's not. It's not easy to do that because there isn't enough houses as it is. If there were more houses, you could probably go, yeah, you can shift them to here, and there. But what if they want to stay in Hillsborough? In an ideal world, you would have wanted to like take those houses that way, extend it to be a bit more of a car park, extend Hillsborough a little bit that way as well, and do it that way, and do that level of kind of building. Anyway, I'm just finishing my 12-hour shift now. Have fun, mate. Have a good now to the kids and What's the Toy Show. Happy days. Have a good one, mate. Drive safe and make sure your kids and family are all well, mate. Much appreciated, Dean. So it's that whole thing I got where I'm in that kind of bit where I don't want to leave Hillsborough, but we need to leave Hillsborough. One of the things I thought of today as well, because like I said, I've done a lot of this today. The only other thing you could do the only other thing you could potentially do is, where is it? Oh, bro. I'll set it up in here so I can do it. Here you go. The only thing you could do is if you took Hillsborough. The only thing you could do is if you took Hillsborough and took the dog park and you built where the dog park is and building around there. Can you just see Punk knocking all the doors on Vera? Would you mind moving out, please? It's just it's not the ideal situation. It wouldn't be what I would say to be a great situation, but it's the only thing I could think of if you were going to redo it. Like generally, if you're going to redo it, that would be a good place to put it. If you put it like there, like in that section there. But then you go, where did the dog track go? Because Hillsborough's across the road there. maybe you say, hey, we'll give you the dog tracks up there. You get more foot traffic in from that. I don't know. I hope we never move. The thing is, the problem is, I don't want us to move from the stadium. But I don't see how you can redevelop it. That's the other thing. Is it big enough? Don't know. The thing is, Hillsborough is in such a stupid location when it comes to it as an area. There isn't a lot you can do to redo it though. Like if you actually generally look at it, once you renovate it, there's nothing else you can do. And if that Don floods again, you're fucked. If that Don floods again, you are fucked. Your insurance are going sky high. And if that ever bursts it back again, we're bollocked. There is no getting away from that. If you look at the location of Wednesday, don't know, we all love it, but that is such a weird place to put a stadium. Let's be brutally honest. Such an odd way of doing it. I love it because it's part of a community, right? I love it that it's part of the community and everything, but it's that whole thing. What if we divert part of land? I think it's protected. Divert the river. Yeah, we're not going through that way. But it is that whole thing. We keep having this discussion about the stadium. I find it fascinating. Got a funny feeling that we move at some point. Yeah, we can fill all corners. I'm not saying we can't fill it. If I lived on that, I would want a lot of compensation to it. Oh God, yeah. You would be paying big compensation, Rosie. You would be paying massive compo. And I've seen clubs do it in the past. Clubs have done it and they have paid big compo. But it's just the thing that you've got to do. You've got to see what the new owners do and how they look at it. I agree with what Clive Betts says about knocking the West End down and starting again. I think there's the bits of this stadium that need modernising. And it's difficult. Magnetic kit with timer at $5.99 Amazon, mate. It's not the time of it that I need, mate. It's the actual inside. I can't actually I cannot start my cooker at all because I need to reset the time on it. So it's annoying. I wish it was a simple fix of $5.99. Get the part itself to redo it is like 13 quid. But I've got to take the front off and then bring the film forward. It's like the adhesive of the glue had come off round the thing. The community built around the altar. See, this is the thing. I like how our stadium is. I like Forest Stadium. I loved Everton Stadium, where it was built in around the houses. I love that. I like that old school approach. I wouldn't want to go to somewhere where it's in the middle of an industrial park, because the community aspect goes then. You lose all that community. That's the thing. Hey Daniel, how you doing, mate? I hope you're well. And the whole point of these clubs being how it's sat is it's around the people. Football is all about people. It always has been. And the thing is, you look at, it's a classic example with Sheffield Wednesday at the minute. Chancery forgot what this club was about. It was about the people who were here. And he didn't understand that. He genuinely took the people and took them for a joke. And you see that when we got -10, I think his brother-in-law or something, or someone related to Chancery, put -10 with a laughing emoji. And that shows you how crap they thought of us. Kind of thing. That's not the kind of thing you do if you actually cared, or you bits of the family cared. You'd be like, -10, that's awful. You wouldn't have that kind of mentality. And I think his heart was in the right place at times, but he lost all goodwill when he just was so stubborn enough not to sell. And it's one of them. We got the thing that Chris Wigfield and the administrators and all the fans and all the supporter groups and everything combined. Look at how much media stuff we're doing. I think the media stuff should be going way up. Once we got new ownership, our media team should be up there, because right now it's very much a skeleton staff, and they're doing good stuff, don't get me wrong, but there's so much more the media team could do. There's so much we could do to improve it and make it better for everyone. Not heard much about the Sheffield SC Eagles Stadium on Meadowhead. That's not a bad shout, mate. Do you know if anything came with the potential buyers who approached the? It's still people who are in and around the buying process, John. So it could potentially be one of the people who are still talking to the club about buying it. So it's one of them. I think you've got to think about it. It's like buying a house, right? If you're buying a house, you find out what planning permission there is. Is there any houses being built nearby? What can I do on that? I think they're just asking at 80 to 85% off if it could have been avoided if DC just went, yeah, I'm getting ourselves. Yeah, exactly. And we have, yeah, if he hadn't have been playing this stupid game of trying to get as much money as possible for what he's lost, he'd be sorted. He would have so much more cash. Like, if he did the deal, but I think as much as people keep saying that this 15 million that he's going to get, we shouldn't pay him and we should just take the 15 points next season. I've seen people say that. I don't agree, by the way. We need to have a clear run next season. I think whatever he gets, he ain't keeping. I think it's going straight back out again. I think there's debts there that are more than what he got with us. It's just one of these things where you look at football as a whole, there is an ownership problem in football. Like, everyone's always put Brighton on this pedestal of amazing ownership and how he does. And it is amazing ownership. Up until recently, there's been a scandal that he's allegedly part of a 600 million gambling syndicate, which doesn't fill you with a lot of praise if you're a Brighton fan. Because that could be curtains for what he wants to do and how they want to do. You've seen what they do to players when players gamble on stuff. Even if it's not even on their team at times, it's the problem. It's that whole thing. You look at it, you've got to be really careful what happens next. Thoughts on text with a Rich backer. If I've always said if he got someone behind him, backing him, then great. I've always thought if he's got someone behind him, backing him more than him, then great. But there's a lot of swings and roundabouts with it. I read up on it, and in the bloke who the backer will be, I think he's 66.6 billion he got, or something like that. That's his net, so it could not be. And he was the founder of Facebook, but it all depends on how much they want to get into that kind of business. Maybe he is involved. Maybe they have put something involved. Maybe they haven't gone away. For the longest time recently, all we've heard is that Texter's looking at Derby now, kind of thing. He's trying to use whatever club he can get to be a feeder club or a way of getting his players out of Brazil into the UK, because he can try and beat all some of the paperwork stuff. So I'm not. Texter, one of those ones where would he want to do League One and start from the bottom? Because I know he's done that with Botafogo. He's managed to do them from the bottom and go up. It all depends on how it's all set up. It's not just football itself. Yeah, I was sad to hear that South Red Devils are gone. The stadium it's in the stadium. So the stadium and the stadium and the club are in administration at the same time. They're dealing with both. I think it's all combined. Instead of having two separate administrations, they've taken both of it at the same time. What if we bulldozed Wingard estate at Middlewood, right next to the current training ground, and handed for the train, and then we could eventually expand onto Niagara site? Not a bad shout, but where do you then put the people who are in Wingardens estate? And also, we don't own Middlewood Road. The council do. The council own Middlewood Road, and We have tried to buy the Niagara site for donkey years. And the reason we can't get it is because South Yorkshire Police train some of their dogs on it. I think the right way to do it will be new owner, rich owner, get someone who really knows what they're doing, let them basically run it and put the owner money. Well, that's the thing that I've been saying for a while. It's the thing that I said for a while, like, it's very much the Tottenham model. Tottenham model have been Daniel Levy was the chairman and Rob Lewis, or I think it's Rob Lewis, was the owner. And that's the kind of model I thought you would have had to see it be done by Chansiri. But he never did that. Now, the thing is, you may have it that you've got rich owners who know sport. You've got rich owners who already know sports and know how to do it that way. For what it's worth, if we did get tapped on this position, I hope to God we raid the Brazil. We would be raiding the Brazilian league, Mike. That will be the whole point of it. It would be a lot of Botafogo players. Have you seen Jesse Lingard contract in Japan has been cancelled or taken punt? Not bad shout. A lot of my mates wouldn't be happy if they had to move from Wingard and they live on there for years. See, we're back. See, chicken, 61 chickens knocking on people's door. Do you mind if you can move? Because 61 Chicken want to build a stadium on here. Punk tried to get Vieira Road and he's not had much success. Can you do it instead? We're in the same path here, mate, but you know what I mean. Have a good one, Q32. I hope you go and have a good weekend. Let's see if we get 3 points. Can't the cock train their dogs on the away fans? Not a bad shout. Put it quick, it's a shout. We'll put it as that. But it is, I've always liked where our stadium is. It doesn't work for where it is. Because the only thing that lets this stadium down is the bloody river. Like, if that river wasn't such a problem, we'd be fine. It's on perfect transport links. It's on the tram route. Ideal. It's close to if you need to get off to motorways and stuff. It is in a good location. The problem is it's that bloody bastard river. Maybe that's why we were trying to get the river to flow the other way so it didn't flood. But I think you look at everything. Got to look at everything, and we could be sat here next week, literally going, "Hey, we've got potential new owner coming in. We need a Google mass scan to find lumps of the ground." Yeah. But we do have this thing where this time next week, or hopefully, fingers crossed, we're sat here saying, we know who the preferred bidder is. They may turn around it to X, Y, and Z. This is who your bidder is. We're going to get them through the EFL situation. Once we've gotten through the EFL vetting situation, it should be all plain sailing from here. Happy days, everyone good. We go again. And then we start to see what the God, we start to get an insight to how I'm gonna look. Grey. Wow. We start to get an insight to what we're gonna do next and how everything's gonna go. And then we want to start hearing what the plans are. We want to start hearing who's in for us. Madam stayed in the car park. I'm afraid that is a big problem. That is a big, big problem. And that's where Blackburn Rovers have actually done well, because they've taken all the housing that was that way and put parking there, either side. That's where Blackburn Rovers, if anyone going to Ewood Park this weekend, go have a look at where their parking is and how it's done. Because it does say a lot. Like, ideally, one of the good ones that I think my mate Bob had, Bob123 when he's normally on here, had was having a multi-storey car park. And you have a multi-storey car park which you have a season ticket, that you have a car parking spot that's to your season ticket, but when it's not used during the week, you rent that space out to non-footballing nights and stuff. You rent that space out and you do it that way. And then on football night, you're like, you can't use it. That's the thing. Anyone built over the river? Don't know. We technically have built a bridge, but I don't know. It's that whole thing where we should be, like I said in the video today, I'm not concerned. I'm not panicked. There are people who are panicking because it was today and now it's not today, and people could walk away and people could go. It could have put people off. It's not the case. That's not the case at all. They put the statement out to make sure people can get a deal if they want to be involved with the process still. And the thing is, you are going to start getting people not walk away, but you're going to get people turned down from the bidding process because there's going to be something that they're going to go, how much can you go for? Mate, I'm starting to look well old. Like, this isn't grey. It's like purpley silver now from that hair, but it's starting to do. It was interesting about, have a good weekend, John. It was interesting about Thanksgiving. I didn't think of it. It was the last thing on my mind that I thought about. Like, I genuinely didn't even cross my mind about Thanksgiving if there were American people going into it. I didn't, just 2 and 2 didn't click. But we got a thing, we'll see where we are at. Oh, excuse me. This time next week. Greeting from a holiday in the Costa del Sol. Nice one, Jordan. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're good. But yeah, that's where we're at with everything. We're still up in the air in terms of who's going to be the owner. But we'll find out sooner or later. The fact that we're getting communication is the best thing in the world. I'd be more concerned if they were like saying, we're not going to tell you till the bid's done. And we sat here going, oh, it could be this person, it could be that person, it could be this person, it could be that person. I would rather get the level of communication we're getting now and get snippets of what's going on than nothing at all. And some clubs in administration get that. They get nothing. They don't tell them nothing. They don't give them an idea. They just say, once the deal's done, we tell you. That's it. We're getting people telling us what the deal are. 29 people watching, 14 likes. Can we get those likes up to 20? I much appreciate it. Helps the algorithm. But that's where we're at. Hopefully, Sheffield Wednesday are in a better position sooner than later, and we can start getting ready to plan for our future. And that's the thing. It's about planning for the next bit. Hope we can sort Harry contract out so we can have him for the rest of the season. Hopefully so. I hope that's done quickly. If we can get him till the end of the season, that'd be fantastic. Like, generally, that'd be fantastic. But I think it's going to be a tough one because there are other clubs looking at him. Right, guys, I'm going to go because I can't stop bloody yawning. It's been a long day. So, thank you for watching. Apologies that this was earlier than scheduled, kind of thing. But I am absolutely shattered. I am tired. Hey, Robert, just as I'm about to stop. It has been a while, mate, but I am about to end the stream, I'm afraid, mate, because I'm shattered. Normally it is 7 o'clock, but I've been starting them a little bit earlier recently just because I'm tired. But yeah. But thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Stay safe over the weekend. Look after your loved ones and just let's see what happens next. But at the end of the day, we're getting there. We're slowly but getting there. Have a good weekend, guys, and let's see if we get 3 points to Blackpool. Blackpool? That's next season. Blackburn, come on.